Come one, come all. You are now plugged into The Ox, your weekly source of hip hop, rap music, and everything underground. Roll yourself up something potent, pour yourself a drink, get yourself comfortable. We finna chill.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Ox Podcast. As always, it's your boy Stilo, aka OG Homunculus, and I am joined by none other than Departure, aka Rap Game David Foster Wallace. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing great, bro. I'm so stoked to be doing this with you.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you on, bro. It's good to have you on. It's crazy
Long time
shit,
coming.
man. We've had this talk in the works since I want to say
August.
I was gonna say August, pretty early on into the show, bro. And I'm my fucking lazy ass, yeah, man, for sure, man, we'll get to it. And then cut to me 3 days before, and I'm like, I don't have my notes ready. But
I haven't done questions. I need to listen to the album again, and then listen to the album.
Yeah, I listened to the joint a handful of times, but to really. You know what I'm trying. Yeah. We're here though. We chilling. It's December. Yeah. As per tradition of the Ox, I always like asking, what have you been listening to recently, bro?
Okay. I think more casually, I've actually been listening to shit like Fake Mink and Drake and Frank Ocean, just on shuffle if I'm at work.
Right on.
And I know that normally that seems a little out of character, but I've actually been drawn to Fake Mink throughout the past year and a half or so, because I think he's a big embodiment of the revival of UK ontology and that culture within the UK underground. So actually, aesthetically on this new record, I feel like I've taken a bit of inspiration from him.
Word.
But as far as full-length records that I've actually been able to properly process and digest, I've been revisiting some stuff from Sigur Rós. And I've also been giving new listens to records from Anguish, Stupid Flip, Decca, Payberry T, Kill the Vultures, Est, Jam Baxter, and a bunch of other guys too. Because I've been doing a dive into more foreign, non-English, and also lesser known abstract hip hop records. Mainly just on a search of knowledge and also potential influence. So.
Bro, the search of knowledge. I'm sorry, that just reminds me of the fucking image. You know the one. You know the one.
Are you talking about
the fucking chud thing?
Oh yeah, the departure chud jack.
Yeah.
You might have to put this in the thing afterwards.
So fucking. Let me
but
pull
just
it
throw
up
it in
now.
somewhere. Pull it up in the at the end.
The crazy part too is I have not that I've never heard of the foreign shit, but there's so much stuff out there that's not English, this, that, the other. That's fucking crazy. Actually fucking nuts that I've just never really heard of, you know?
Yeah, I think as far as foreign stuff, I would have to say some of my favorite acts are Container, which is a Russian group. I fucking love I love I think Osanova. I think it's probably one of my favorite records to them. It has some of my favorite songs. The funny thing about being a only English speaking person is that it's hard to digest what they're saying, especially if you're not willing to go find translations or whatever. The thing that you kind of grasp most from it is the production and the sound design. And I think they were doing stuff in a similar vein to Cloud Dead, but they weren't even at all associated with that, and they were doing it around the same time, and they were just really forward thinking, especially with I think Vess, which came out I think in 2004. It was 2004 2006, but they were doing a lot of similar stuff to Beta Airco from Australia. And shout out to my boy Kasani, because he put me onto that. And that shit is fucking sick. Their album, I'm Okay, You're Okay, was also an influence for Braille Brandishing as well. Yeah.
That's a
Super
crazy album.
yeah, IDM flashcore influenced, like almost it's like bordering on spoken word basically. It's like barely even hip hop, but it's so sick.
Yeah, that's
Fucking
just
love
ill
it.
as fuck, man. Yeah. I mean, we were talking a little bit, like, not. This was like a few months ago about Mary Sue a little bit, and like,
Yeah.
neither of us speak Mandarin, but that nigga flowing, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
And
I'm definitely not understanding any
Yeah.
of the shit that dude says if it's not in English, but
But
I love
Expired
the English
Toffee
raps.
comes on, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, bro. He's
Yeah.
spitting that shit. It's crazy, man.
I definitely needed to revisit voice memos because I
Yes.
would actually, I think honestly that's like one of my favorite hip hop
Bro, yeah,
records, like
absolutely.
generally speaking.
That's
Definitely not perfect, not in my all time greats, but
Yeah.
it's I would put it comfortably like in my top 100 probably, top
Bro.
top 100, top 150.
I'm
something
not gonna
like that.
lie to you. The more I listen to it, that's like top 5 for me. It's
Damn.
oh my god, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Every episode, I
Yeah.
find myself glazing Mary Sue, and I think that's really fucking funny. So
Yeah, that dude's sick.
he's so fucking cool. So
And he also
Mm-hmm.
gave he showed some love when June posted like a thing on Instagram for the Genesis release. So
yeah.
so shout outs to Mary Sue.
Shout out Mary
Definitely
Sue,
dope
and
as fuck.
shout out to that new record too. I gave that shit. Y'all niggas, that shit was dope as fuck, man.
I haven't heard it just yet. I know he's dropped a few new records this year, but I need to check them out still. They're on my radar.
So to get relatively, I know me and you, we could probably just shoot the shit about fucking rap music for hours. But to get relatively back on track, for listeners who don't know who you are, who haven't heard of your music, who is Departure, and how would you introduce yourself into? You know what I'm trying to say. I'm a really good interviewer.
Yeah, So I really feel like I'm kind of a jack of all trades, and to be honest, hip hop is not really the first genre that I started making. I mean, I've been doing digital music production here and there since I was like 9, but I mostly started out in like vaporwave and like really shitty echo jams type shit, and most of the stuff that I was doing is like I don't have it anymore, like it's gone forever, and honestly I'm a little fine with that because it was all garbage. But I have always had a fond love for hip hop since I was a child, and that influence has kind of bled through into my other endeavors with vaporwave and vaporwave, plunderphonics, and sound collage, where I'll use hip hop songs as samples. But mostly I would like people to be more fond of my recent works because I felt like I've been improving not only creatively but just improving in quality over the years. And I would say generally I like to nestle myself in that label of abstract hip hop, but I understand that there's other people and colleagues of mine who kind of stray away from that for their own, you know, social culture reasons. But I'm fond of the label, and I think it's a good way to describe what I do primarily. So.
And like you don't just make hip hop. Like even earlier this year, you had the I'm not too familiar with like the genre labels, but like a hardcore joint.
Aborted defecated whale.
Yeah. How like genre wise, I don't even know how to describe that because like low key, I'm mad ignorant to that scene. But like you be making music just of all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? Like and
low key, it's fine if you don't even know about that stuff because like. The biggest influence as far as extreme metal goes for that project is Gore Noise, which is kind of like on the like lower levels of like hardcore. Like you had to be like chronically online and like invested in that shit. So it's like I understand people don't get it, but that project mostly that's like my main side project right now. I'm mostly just kind of at an intersection of hip hop and sound collage, but I'm also trying to blend in the aesthetics and the sound design of extreme metal genres. So I'm really looking at like slam death metal and like more experimental shoegaze, but mainly grindcore and its subgenres are an influence for me. Because that's honestly my favorite like extreme metal genre, if you could call it that. There's some contention about that, but I love grindcore, so that's my purview.
Listening to that was very not surreal, but like very much so out of my usual wheelhouse, but that shit was you're doing your thing on that shit, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm working on some more material for that too. Definitely trying to experiment as much as I can. That's really like a blank canvas for me.
Yeah, one thing I respect a lot too is like you just be making fucking music, bro. Because like you do the flips, you do the this, you do, and like yeah, man, it's commendable. It's commendable the body of work that you have out and the fact that you're consistently always working on new shit. You know, like you know what I mean? Yeah. It's dope. Bro.
Yeah,
it's dope.
I'm always working on shit, and this year especially, I've been trying to branch out. Not as a primary artist, but I like to work behind the scenes as an engineer for people. So there's a couple of notable records this year that I engineered. I engineered all of Genesis by IND. I engineered Against the Howling Winds by the Sleep Dealers, which is like more of a sound collage, neo-psych, ambient pop record, and I'm also part of that collective too. Yeah. Shout out to all them motherfuckers, and I also I'm engineering Cyrus Mirrors' next album. I'm not gonna disclose any information about that, but we're working very closely in collaboration. So, and then
the nigga's in Sweden. He's in Sweden.
Bro just sends me the files, bro. I just do what I can.
Fair enough. I mean, because to me, I'm sitting like, is you like what? Type shit. I'm very excited for that. Shout out Cyrus. Cyrus, we fought with you, bro.
We're making some fire shit. Yeah, shout out Cyrus. And I also engineered a good portion of June's Shit Ain't Sweet record. And then also Glasswing Spread by Wind Chime. That's the homie Jackson. And he also released on Isolated Rain, which is the label that the new record is going to come out on. And so did Against the Howling Winds also came out on that label. And the DJ mix we did with We420 came out on that label, so that's
type shit.
Yeah, big. Yeah. So a lot of big things happening, and I engineered that DJ mix too. Sorry, I keep thinking of so much other shit that I did this year. I did a lot of shit this year.
You be fucking grinding, bro. So speaking of the new record, that's what we're here primarily to talk about. Let me pull up the motherfucking screen. Right now, we are preemptively, or it hasn't released yet. It's coming out on New Year's Day, 2026. Work of Artist, I Love You, your 8th solo project as Departure, which is fucking crazy. 8 albums within. You started making music, what? Like releasing music 2020?
As Departure since I was 13, like the beginning of 2021.
Fucking crazy, bro. 8 albums in 4 years is like type shit, bro. Like, oh my God. So yeah.
Technically it's 5, but yeah.
Technically. But yeah, bro, it's crazy, man. So Work of Artist, I've had a chance. You sent me this shit in like August. Sitting with it a little bit. What do you think this album is like? How the fuck do I ask this question? See, I'd be writing down questions, but I don't even know how to read them, bro. It's fucking crazy, dog. What do you think made this like the right statement to make at this point in your growth and journey as an artist?
So, coming off the heels of Braille Brandishing, which to date is my most popular record, I felt like after, that's when you tapped in. I felt like at that point I had basically exuded the proper amount of cockiness and arrogance that I had never really been able to properly articulate or compact before, at least in a reasonable manner. And then knowing that, I was pretty much aware at that point that I didn't want to continue down on that path again. And I think the sound designs on that record kind of complement the subject matters too, because I was angry about like a lot of things happening, not even in my life, but just in the world in general. So there's a lot of outward, political statements on that record, and it was a proper outlet. But now I feel like I'm a little bit finished with that. Not the political subjects, but mostly just the anger and the arrogance. So in many ways, I feel like Work of Artist, I Love You is kind of a fold to Braille Brandishing, and that it's so much more self-aware about like the consequences of actions before they happen, and a lot more self-aware about roughness. So things on this record are a lot more glitchy and electronic and polished in a way that complements that glitchiness rather than contending to pop conventions of engineering and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really kind of like a yin to Braille Brandishing's yang in a way, but
that's really
not necessarily like a sister project, really.
But like still definitely something that they're interconnected in a way where
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't necessarily function alone. So I feel like in order to get this record, you would kind of have to go back and listen to Brow Brandishing,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
then kind of come into this record with that record in mind to kind of understand, okay, how
Yeah.
did I end up at this point, really?
That makes a lot of sense, actually. That's real as fuck. Because for the last little bit, I have been kind of going through your discography in preparation for this interview, and like, yeah, that absolutely makes a lot of sense, and that kind of adds
Yeah.
additional context. That's real shit. That's real shit. Um, for the title of work of artist, I love you. That is like sounds like some real philosophical shit. I kind of want to know what the title means to you and kind of what like the
So,
purpose, you know?
yeah. No, it definitely has a purpose. So the title was actually the very first thing I had come up with before I even started coming up with ideas or kind of returning to the ideas for the sound design.
Mhm,
The title kind of came to me as I was formulating for what would eventually become VVS, and that was the Folktronica album that I had made
mhm,
prior to Braille Brandishing. I knew one way or another that the record that would become VVS was going to be about some sort of internal battle.
mhm,
And Work of Artist I Love You as a title is partially about that because you can read it two ways, or at least I like to read it two ways. So
mhm,
you can read it Work of Artist I Love You or Work of Artist I Love You,
mhm,
emphasizing the latter four words in that. And the
mhm,
latter, I feel like, is a statement to the self in a moment of doubt.
mhm,
So it's like an affirmation, like artist I love you, like you're speaking to yourself as an
mhm,
artist.
mhm,
So I finished VVS and then I finished Braille Brandishing, and I was dredging up some of the older ideas that I came up with from the past. Like this is like in 2023 at this point. And I
mhm,
came upon that title again, and I was like, you know what? I want this to be the next project title. I feel like I can come back to this now and work on it. In many ways too, it's a love letter to art and how it affects people.
mhm,
So I wrote a description for the album. It's on my Bandcamp, and I posted it as an image.
mhm,
And I wrote it at the end of the description for the album, and I said, "quote But they will find purpose in their own creations like I did, and they will cherish and love their work of arts until their last breath, starving." So I
mhm,
think that that's like a core tenet of like this is mine, and I want
mhm.
the listener, for whatever artistic endeavors that they might be going in, to kind of create something that is so unique to themselves and like really, really hone in on that, on the minutia of
Mhm,
everything in their
mhm.
life experience, and create that as well.
Type
So
shit. Type shit. That's raw, man. Cause you don't get a title like that just from bullshit. And so I knew there was some shit going. That's real as fuck, man. Cause bro, like there's artists out here that don't love their shit. You know what I mean? And like, bro, you
yeah,
got it.
I
You,
have some older stuff too that I don't like, and that's mostly just because of
mhm,
it's all an effect of juvenilia. I mean, I'm only 18 years old, so I was still coming into this,
mhm.
not really knowing what I was doing and having a false sense of confidence in my
Yeah.
older work. And
I
now
mean,
I'm not that fond of it, but it was an important step
yeah.
of growth to
Nigga,
be where I'm at right now.
you was making music when you were 13, bro. If anyone can go back to a record they made at age 13 and be like, yeah, this is heat.
Yeah, I
You're
still
on some
fuck with
different
it.
shit.
You might be doing something wrong. I'm not even gonna lie.
Like low like low key.
You have to be like egotistical as fuck. Yeah, no, this shit is perfect, dog.
Yeah,
No, it's
brother.
not. Try again.
Yeah.
Eh,
And like
wrong answer.
shout out to the shit that you're like, of course it's good to have that confidence, but it's like settle down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like settle down.
Yeah.
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 So you were working on this for since VVS, you were saying?
I came up with the title around the time that I started making VVS.
Yeah.
But I would say the primary recording period started just after Braille Brandishing,
Okay.
and then I've been tidying it up, finishing it up until a few months ago.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right on. Conceptually, the album first came together. Like, did you know the subject matter that you were gonna write about slash the sound like right after Braille Banishing, or did it kind of progress naturally where you were just making shit and then it kind of turned into what it turned into?
I would say it you know, it was kind of like a snowball effect. Like I was like, okay, the while I was working on it, I have all of these different experiences happening in my life. You know, I was graduating high school, so now I'm finishing up my the first half of my first
Mhm.
year at college. So there were a lot of things that were happening that were really like kind of influencing the evolution of the project, and I had some tracks. I was going through actually a bit of different like sound choices or structure.
Mhm.
So, I wanted something initially really extremely grandiose, and obviously I eventually scaled that down because it's not even 40 minutes.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but I was working on demos of like different sounds, and one of the demos that I worked on in the early stages of the project would eventually become the intro track that I have with Snot Nose Salim to the Aborted Defecated Whale EP.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but beyond that, my primary framework for like a more grandiose and experimental record was actually "Electricity Is on Our Side" by Bus Driver, and
Word.
that is in itself like in a really extremely grandiose glitch hop record, and it
Yeah.
has a lot of influences that are native to where Bus Driver lives, which is Los Angeles,
Mhm.
especially with jazz rap and vocalese writing styles that are blended into the project. And I
Mhm.
wanted to emulate that sort of thing myself. So there's a lot of references to my life in Austin that are on the record,
Mhm.
because the
Mhm.
primary thesis of the record is highlighting my experience as a human being
Mhm.
and all of the things that have collided in my life to make me who I am. And I actually tweeted last night or this morning as I was like
Mhm.
revelating on this. I was like, low key, this is like the infinite jest of hip hop. And we're gonna touch on David Foster Wallace's influence in this in a bit,
Yeah.
but there's like 8 primary concepts that are on this record, and I have to explain them just a little bit. So the
Mhm.
first one is the intersection of Austin's hardcore, rave, and hip hop scenes. And
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
hip hop takes the most influence on this record. Um, but I have a lot of influence from hardcore. I was in like a death metal / grind band shortly after I dropped Braille Brandishing. I was a
Mhm.
DJ for a
Mhm.
few months. And I go to raves often too. I've performed at raves, doing the DJ and even rap sets at raves. So
Mhm.
there's a really unique intersection that happens in like being in this city specifically. Like they call us the live music capital of the world. So it's like
Mhm.
you really kind of have to conjoin yourself to that as an artist if you're living here.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Another big thing, or the second concept, is Mark Fisher's thesis on UK hauntology as a full circle career influence for me.
Mhm.
So, a big thing that the more musically in tune people would catch on to is that there's a lot of influence from Mark Fisher's writings on hauntology. And
Mhm.
the cover art for Work of Artist I Love You is an edited version of Leland Kirby's record The Death of Rave the Source, which he released as V/VM. And many
Yeah.
people know him as the caretaker who created Everywhere at the End of Time under that name.
Mhm.
So that record specifically, when it was finished in 2019 and then it blew up in 2020, that record sparked a newfound cultural interest in ontology, because
Mhm.
not only had Kirby himself dedicated a record to Mark Fisher after he passed, but his really his entire discography, not just as the caretaker, but some of his other aliases,
Mhm.
including V/VM, is really emblematic of what hauntology means itself, and it's very similar, or it's very self-aware about being a part of that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
where records like Everywhere at the End of Time are exploring Fisher's ideas about hauntology through the lenses of sampling old British dance band records or traditional pop in the early 20th century,
Mhm.
records that he made for The Death of Rave are exploring the same thing through the literal death of British rave culture by
Mhm.
the end of the 90s and going into the 2000s. So the latter is particularly of interest to me because I performed at raves and I frequent them in my city. So
Mhm.
it's kind of been a interesting sight to see how the cultural analysis of that scene's collapse has either affected or not affected the scene in Austin.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so the third thesis is language as a path toward personal freedom. And in
Yeah.
parentheses, I put intentional inaccessibility. So Billy Wood says on his newest record that
Mhm.
the English language is violence,
Yeah. Took it as
and
well. Yeah.
that is a extremely emblematic quote for this record, because there are so many things that I say that nobody is going to get except for me. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Like I don't give a fuck about accessibility. And honestly, I really want people to be drawn to that in accessibility. Because it creates a desire to satiate the mind for that which you don't understand.
And like unpack
so that's also
right?
Really unpack it. And that's also why I'm doing this interview too, is because I want to go through some of the things that the record doesn't already explain by itself, and kind of just like dive in and elaborate on those things in detail. The fourth thesis is neo-fascistic forces that devalue both creators and their creations. So we're in an era of generative AI, and we have things like ChatGPT and Gemini and all of this other bullshit that I'm personally I don't use. I hate it. It's ruining the world. It's like 75 degrees on the day after Christmas Day in Texas, and it shouldn't be like that. Okay, this is like we're fucked. Like we're getting fucked in the butt. Okay, like this is crazy. I vehemently despise anybody who uses it. Like if I find out you use it, I'm basically like not going to talk to you. Like it's that serious. But it's also these things that are being developed by neo-fascistic and transhumanist people, and these in these big CEOs who are working hand in hand with neo-fascistic forces in the American government, most notably the president and his cronies and all of these other guys that are in the government. But if you look at Nazi Germany in the 1930s, they did this exact thing. What they would do, and this was mostly like as their cultural takeover, they would take any art that didn't conform to their societal standards for good art, or art that supported Nazi propaganda, and they would take it into museums that people could go look at, so they would get frustrated by it. This is also a thing that's developed in 1984 by George Orwell, which basically talks about the exact same thing. And Nazi Germany was a backbone for what Orwell was writing about, where they would have these people go watch these films in the book that would intentionally make people really angry, and that's kind of a thing that I'm really like trying to touch on this record, is like, even though this isn't accessible to you, it's accessible to me, and that's really the entire point. Because what is a AI algorithm gonna scrape up on something that it can't understand? It's gonna like garble the system. You don't understand it. I do, and that's the whole point. Because I'm trying to make sure that thing over there doesn't understand what I'm trying to say. But I will let you know that you and I can understand it, not that thing over there. Okay, that thing sucks. Fuck that thing.
Fuck that thing.
Okay.
Fuck that thing.
Thesis number 5 is David Foster Wallace's philosophies on spiraling self-awareness and intentional inaccessibility. And honestly, we will get into this a little bit more later, because I do kind of elaborate on it. But yeah, his work touches a lot on spiraling self-awareness, and a lot of the way that he writes is mostly about not being accessible, especially as like a meta-modernist or postmodernist writer. And getting into his work, I've been really influenced by that. I mean, I'm the fucking rap game David Foster Wallace. Like, let's be serious for a minute. Why would I not be? So,
bro, quick little aside, man. I remember, I think you changed your Twitter name to that or something like that. And I was like, man, who the fuck is David Foster Wallace? And then I went and I Googled it, and I was like, yeah, all right. Like, you know what? Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So, thesis number 6 is anti-capitalist and communist action in the music industry. So, I'm going to use a really good example that just happened, okay? We had a group of hackers scrape Spotify's entire music database and make it free to stream on a torrent or whatever. Here's the problem with that. How are you going to financially compensate the artists that are in that database? We already get paid slices of pennies as it is per stream. How the fuck is that going to help anybody? It's not enough to just be anti-capitalist, but you need to adopt communist thought into how you're going to do this, because what good is that going to do if the people can't benefit from it? Okay, how are the art, like, you just made our shit free for everybody to stream. They don't have to make an account to go view that. If they're
Mhm.
smart enough, it's not that hard to get a torrent and just rip that shit. Okay, there's like 300 terabytes of shit on there. Where's my money? Okay, I need my money. Okay,
Yeah.
like, do you see the like this? That's the problem. It's not enough to just be like, okay, fuck you, Spotify.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take all your shit and go hoard it somewhere else, so they don't have to make an account. But Spotify
But
was
it
at
still
least paying money, weren't they?
Yeah, it still fucks the artist over, and it still fucks the
Exactly.
average person over.
Exactly. So that's also like a primary tenet of this record, is kind of focusing on, like, because this record is like so personal,
Mhm.
other people can't really like benefit on it. You couldn't copy this record or pretend that you were me and go re-release this somewhere else without somebody being like, that's not you. That's the
Mhm.
wlike
That's the
it's
point of
it's
it,
like
right?
it's like impossible. Like, I encrypted the record type shit. Like, that's like that's the
We talking
primary goal.
figuratively or literally? Figuratively, you mean?
Figuratively.
Okay, I was about to
Figuratively.
brother. If I'm gonna go to this Untitled and fuck around and get some malware on my computer, like, yo,
No. No, I didn't do. I'm not smart enough to do all that. But
Fair.
that's what I'm saying. So,
Mhm,
the seventh thesis is the categorization of genres as a vehicle for cultural movement. So one thing I've been a bit more in tune to recently is like the development of scenes and movements and the validity of them. And this mostly kind of ties back into uh the intersection of the three major scenes here in Austin.
mhm,
But kind of using those movements to uplift people and
mhm,
like give them a sense of belonging. And that's really kind of what hardcore and punk culture is all about. That's a concept that I kind of inherited from my time with that.
mhm,
So I think it's really important to use scenes and genres, for as much as people don't like to have labels put on them or be put into boxes, which I completely understand. At the same time, they can be used to create community. And so that's really a big part of what all of these three scenes have like taught me in my time with them.
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
the last thing, and this is mostly about the uniqueness of the individual, but the last thesis is rejecting the throwaway of an individual for pastiche. So what I mean by that
mhm,
is, I am rejecting the idea that you should just go try to be somebody else. And that is why this whole record is so unique,
mhm,
is because I, like, as much as I use David Foster Wallace and Mark Fisher and all of these ideas that come from other people as foundations for developing these ideas,
mhm,
it's really important for me to maintain that I am my own human being, that I am my own person. And I
mhm.
touch on this in The Fat Cats Will Fall. There's a lyric that goes, finding out my person by cosplaying as a Wallace, and finding out my worth from how much money's in my pocket, I'm a comma. So
Word.
that
Yeah.
that bar
Word.
is kind of emblematic of these things. I'm rejecting this notion that you have to like try to be somebody else to figure,
Mhm,
like, I did technically, but you should not entirely use the somebody else's human identity as a backbone to like figure out yourself. You
mhm,
should just try
mhm.
to be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, fucking the skit from Blonde. Many college students go to college and blah 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 blah.
Mhm,
Just try to
mhm.
be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. That's
Yeah.
just the
Yeah.
whole point of it.
And I know,
Um,
at least personally, that took me a very long time to figure out. And I know, like, a lot of people struggle with that shit, right? Like, identity is such a crazy thing to wrestle with, especially in this digital age. Like, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's real shit that you're saying. That's real shit.
Yeah, and I mean, I've definitely, I don't want to say that I've really 100% figured out myself. There's no,
Mhm,
my dad always liked to tell me that practice doesn't make perfect, it just makes better. So there's no really one way for you to figure out 100% who you are.
mhm,
It's mostly just about being confident in who you are right now, and learning to love yourself with all of
mhm.
your flaws and faults
Yeah.
and etc.
That's what life
So,
is about, right? Like, that's kind of the point of all of it, in a way. You know?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The really the point of life for me is just to live it.
100%, bro. 100%.
But to kind of summarize, there are so many things that are intersecting in terms of conceptual influence for this record, but I really think that is just itself the whole point. So in the description, I described it as, quote, an intersection of a bajillion collisions that will never happen again in exactly that sequence. So I think it is so important to distinguish, and I will coming back to this, it's so important to distinguish pastiche, whether intentional or unintentional, versus the smooth blend and incorporation of other people's work as influence in yours. So that's my outline. The
summary,
the overarching, all of these theses coming together, really. So,
because I'm not gonna lie, bro, like on the Untitled, like you have all the lyrics and shit. It took me. I'm still like it. I'm really glad that you said that it's intentionally inaccessible, because I'm listening to it and I'm like, yeah, this is dope. There's some cut. I don't know what the fuck.
What the fuck are you saying?
Like, what the fuck is this dude waffling about? So knowing that's intentional kind of makes me feel a little relieved, because I was like, bro, like, yeah, and that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I think that's a really dope, like, kind of thesis is the wrong word, but kind of like motive for an album, for lack of a better term. That's dope. That's dope as fuck.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a big relief to know that was the point, because, bro, I thought I was like fucking stupid or something, bro.
No, yeah. You're not stupid. I'm just intentionally esoteric.
Yeah,
that's
like, I'd like to think I can unpack music and unpack people's, like, you know, intention pretty well, but this one I was like puzzling on that shit, bro. Yeah, right on. And like, it's cool to know that you have so much went into this writing wise and conceptually, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, bro, yeah, that's what I think it should be about, man. Like, I do kind of hate the term abstract hip hop, but like, it's fucking ill. Like, you really are on some abstract hip hop shit, like, for real, bro.
Yeah,
like,
that's why I like it.
Yeah, motherfuckers calling Billy Woods abstract, and I'm like, bro, like, kill yourself. But like, this, that's a little crazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I feel you though.
You know what I mean? But like, this is that real abstract shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's dope. So I guess I wrote a little bit about the David Foster Wallace influence, where, like, obviously you're taking a lot of inspiration from his writing, from his ideas, from his philosophies, etc., etc. What was the thing that, like, initially drew you to his writing?
So I kind of have to admit that initially, like, what drew me to his existence was the fact that I was getting constant comparisons that I just looked like him after I started donning the bandana probably about a year ago.
Type shit.
And I started watching some videos of him speaking, and one day I decided I should actually give his work a try. So I finished reading his short work, Something to Do with Paying Attention, which is an excerpt from The Pale King, which was like an unfinished novel that got published after his death. And then I've only just slightly started to begin reading Infinite Jest, but even through this peer into his full scope of writing, I can already note that we hold similarities, and after diving into his work more, I've begun to start kind of cherishing those similarities. And the funny thing is I actually have two colleagues, Octamobius Scheffner and Giannis Lago, who despise some of his writing, most specifically Infinite Jest. In fact, if I remember right, they made like a whole record together about that being like one of the primary things about it, or at least it was a portion of what the record was about. And I've yet to kind of get into it with them more about this and have that conversation. But I think that they hold a respectable amount of interest in my work, especially where Giannis and I kind of intersected for the first time, because she featured on Against the Howling Winds. But I've never had them say that they hate my writing, so I think that I'm doing something right in that regard.
You're chilling. Yeah, right on. One thing that I did kind of grasp from the album is Wallace, I wrote in the notes, Wallace often explored the idea of fatalism and kind of like determinism, if I'm not mistaken, how kind of our actions on Earth don't really matter. Everything is predetermined, whatever. And I get a little bit of that from the album as well. Like I couldn't tell you any examples off the top of my head, but there is a little bit of that I feel that you're kind of exploring. Would you say that that was something that you were trying to go for, like intentionally, like exploring those ideas?
So this is one of the great things about being a complex human being is that
Yeah.
I'm actually able to disagree with the person that I'm not going to refer to as an idol, but categorically he could fall into being such.
Yeah.
I actually vehemently disagree with fatalism as a belief, and I have the understanding that it's sort of like a sub-belief of existential nihilism.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
really, I kind of just reject that as being very stupid or ignorant. And I think it's actually like a really dehumanizing belief system.
Agreed.
Because if you just believe that we don't have any power, then it's like,
Then what the fuck you
come
doing,
on,
right?
bro. Power to the, like, more power to the people. Come on, man.
Yeah.
So, but people have kind of like described me as being like a very go with the flow person. And I
Mhm.
think that I've ascribed to that just a bit. But simultaneously, I'm also a person that like I know who I am and what I want, and I'll figure out how to get it.
Mhm.
But as far as self-awareness goes, I try to be so self-aware about like every little thing I do that it actually kind of fucks with me sometimes.
Mhm.
So I have to
Mhm.
wrestle with social ineptness a lot, and that's mostly just as an effect of being autistic. But
Mhm.
having this kind of mental unstoppable force like versus an unmovable object, that'll ends up in me having like a lot of anxiety about my own thoughts,
Mhm.
actions, and beliefs. And kind of like spiraling and dissociating into my own thoughts before something clicks, and then I just return to the present.
Mhm.
So 100% when Wallace like touches on these sort of things in his works or the videos that I've watched of him speaking,
Mhm.
they've influenced my writing style drastically because I connect to that so much. And I think it was not only those concepts that are influencing the process of the record,
Mhm.
but kind
Mhm.
of wrestling with being my own person while also welcoming these comparisons to a
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
point. Because it's cool to be the rap game David Foster Wallace. I mean, that's a fucking dope ass title to have. He's a well respected writer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just as well, I would like to be a well respected artist. So in a way, trying to inherit or inheriting that character is sort of like setting a goal. Like you would like to have this trophy, at the top of your
Mhm.
top of your
Mhm.
dresser, top of your nightstand, sort of thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do think the writing is like obviously very intentionally heady and a lot to chew on, you know what I mean? And like I think that is commendable because like it's cool to see like philosophical writing through the medium of hip hop. Like that's fucking wild no matter what way you flip it, you know what I mean? And like yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And like fuck, I guess it really goes to show as well that like it's kind of something that you need to unpack and something that you really need to like grapple with as a listener as well to try and really
Yeah.
get the that's wild, bro. That's
Oh,
wild.
100%. Yeah.
Do you think like I did say that this album like I said how do you balance philosophical ideas with making music that still feels emotional and accessible? Because I feel sonically, like production wise, it's pretty accessible, at least for the scene that like both of us navigate in, where you know what I mean, like listening to this, you're not getting that crazy fucking like experimental shit the same way you
Like
get out of like
some people are calling it noise hop right now, so
yeah. I don't
yeah.
like that label. I don't like the label of noise hop.
I don't like the label either, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's kind of just generalizing.
Yeah,
But
it's
I do like some of the people that I'm noticing. People are like
mhm.
are kind of forcing artists to subscribe to that label too. So mostly kind of like Snot Nose,
Yeah.
Hester Valentine as well, and I think
about
Outside House.
Millennium,
Yeah.
AGP, some of the PTY
Yeah,
joints, you know what I
AGP.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just as a random aside, I think labels, especially in a genre as vast as hip hop, trying to label shit, especially within the quote unquote experimental scene, is kind of detrimental because it
is.
I think it kind of takes away from not necessarily artistic merit, but like it's like you'll hear like an AGP verse and you'll be like, oh, immediately this is just some noise hop shit, and it's like you're not really listening.
Shut
and
the
you're not,
fuck up.
like you know what I mean? Like
just shut the fuck. So this is actually kind of where I draw the line. Like I've expressed my fondness for labels and categorization, but only up to a certain point, because I feel like such a thing has to develop naturally.
Yeah.
This is why I hate the idea of post-rap. And I will tell you, I think it was invented by Israeli Mossad agents, okay? Like, that's... Like, dude, that's not real. There's like 15 different ways for people to describe post-rap, and they're saying it's like To Pimp a Butterfly, and By the Time I Get to Phoenix, and then some people say that my shit is post-rap, and I'm just like, bro, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I need you to die, bro. Like, I don't, like, dog, just shut up. Like, everything that I really use to describe my own work is something that has already existed, and is obviously there's a direct line of natural human development.
Yeah.
Okay, this dude is still fucking laughing.
The Mossad agents really got me, dude.
Yeah. No. But yeah, that's why shit like post rap or noise hop, like that shit is not real. Like you're just making that up to describe something, but there's no consensus or community behind that label being defined. Which is why this is why like people unnecessarily direct negative attention towards the idea of art rap, even though that is 100% a real thing. Like that is a real scene. Mostly there's two different scenes, right? You have the one that was in Los Angeles in the early 2010s. So you have Milo, Bus Driver, Open Mike Eagle, all the Hellfire Club guys, right? And that was mostly an extension of Project Blowed kind of like fading out of being the main thing. And then you have stuff coming out of Chicago, so like KVI and Tomorrow Kings that was also happening in the early 2000s, and also artists like Arm & Hammer that were not like in the same location really with all this stuff happening, but they were collaborating with Bus Driver and doing shows with Rap Ferreira. So and also fucking why am I blanking on his name? Sketch 185, who was in Tomorrow Kings, is signed to Backwoods Studios. So there's like there's connections happening here, and there's also a bit of a revival of this idea with Backwoods Studios getting a rise in popularity. So there's a lot of negative attention towards labels that don't need negative attention because they are real things, and there's not much of an argument to be made just because people are like, oh, well, it's not big enough, man. Like,
yeah,
I don't care. Like, Gore Noise is a real thing. Like, yeah, bro, just go back to your fucking circle jerk. Like, I will hate post rap and noise hop as much as I want, and I will join that circle jerk, but let's leave certain things out of it because those things are definitely real.
Yeah.
And you definitely have not devoted enough research or attention 100%. To those things.
Like, my whole thing too is like we look, this is a crazy fucking comparison, but like you look at hip hop / rap music as a whole. Billy Woods is considered rap music. So is Saw Baby. Those two do not sound anything alike. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro,
that's because hip hop is a cultural movement, not like a genre, a strict genre. Yeah,
absolutely. And like, I don't know, man. I just listen to the shit that sounds good. Listen to the shit that you fuck with, bro. Like, it's not that serious, you know? That's
like develop your own taste. There's hundreds of thousands of releases out there just in the hip hop genre alone. Like, you really can't have a wrong music taste when it comes to hip hop. Like, you just kind of have to find your niche, really.
But like, my whole thing is like niggas commenting on hip hop as a whole. You've never listened to Dirty Sprite 2? Like, what are we talking about here, man? You've never listened to
exactly.
You've never listened to
Exactly.
You know? Like,
yo, you've never listened to Chicken Talk? Like, let's be serious for a minute,
saying, bro. And like, I don't know. And that's why I do.
Don't talk to me if you haven't listened to at least one Gucci Mane mixtape, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't
bro.
talk to me
like,
if you haven't listened to one post Memphis Rap 3 6 Mafia record. Like, bro, go tap into Most Known Unknown. That record is amazing. That record is amazing.
Fucking album, bro. Yeah, like that's kind of what I really like about this scene that we both navigate in, and your music for that record, because I feel it kind of transcends those labels to a degree where
Yeah.
we're just making fucking music. We're making the music that we want to make. And like,
Yeah, like
that's,
we're just the artists, and then
yeah.
people will ascribe whatever labels that they're going to want to ascribe. But
Mhm.
mostly I've been able to combat that because I deal with both being an artist and then also being a documentarian for this sort of stuff. So I've
Mhm.
done
Mhm.
like the chronologies on Rate Your Music,
Yeah.
with like Backwoods, Def Jux,
Mhm.
Anticon. I did an IND,
Bro,
uh
I could
yeah,
never,
an
bro.
IND chronology. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. But I mean, it's like this super important, like history,
it is.
like the
It is
hip hop
important.
history. And we're in a digital age now where like so much stuff can even be forgotten. So it's super important to like have a central,
Mhm.
not authority, but just a place where people can go and do the research on these things and have a list of stuff to listen to
Yeah,
and be like, okay,
absolutely.
now I know about these things, or even if there's more that they want to learn about these things, that
Yeah, that you
whatever
have
I
that
do.
place, right?
Exactly. Like I want it
Mhm.
to be a springboard for people to hear this stuff and then be like, okay, I want to go learn more
Mhm.
and just
Mhm.
not be ignorant. Like that's the whole thing really. Is just like don't be
Yeah.
like just stop being ignorant.
Yeah,
Like just
that's real.
don't.
That's so fucking real. That's so fucking real. And that's what's so
Yeah.
cool about the scene too, because I feel there's so many ways to interface with that. Where like for me at least, 90% of the music I listen to, I'm finding out about because of Twitter, and I'm finding out about because of like literal oomfies of mine dropping crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like it's really cool that everyone can kind of interface with the scene and with the medium in that sense. Like it's dope. It's really, really
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, I
Mm.
low-key have an aversion to like directly listening to stuff that people recommend me. Like if
Mhm.
you recommend me something, I'm going to wait like 3 months to listen to it so I can feel like I actually listened to it myself.
That's really
Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little arrogant about that low
I
key.
get it.
I feel
I
like
get it.
I want it to feel like it's my journey
Yeah.
and not yours. So
That's
fuck
fair.
you. Nah,
That
I'm kidding, but like
damn. So if I tell you, hey bro, you gotta go listen to this album, you're just gonna, yeah, you know what? That's fair. Actually, I
I'm
can't
gonna put
lie.
it on my list and then I'll come back to it in like 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Actually, I can't lie. I'd be doing the same
Or
shit.
maybe I'll come to it if it's like part of a larger thing and
Yeah.
be like, okay, yeah, you know what? I get why you told me to listen to this.
That's what's up. I get you. I get you for sure.
Yeah.
That kind of acts as a pretty good transition, actually, where I feel like something that I touched on a little bit is I think that this album feels like a love letter to the underground scene that we kind of navigate in, especially with, you know, the features, production credit, and even just like some of the writing. Like I think it was on I couldn't tell you what song it was on, but I feel there's a lot of moments where like you're kind of paying homage to that scene that we're in. Um, so I kind of want to know, like, what does this scene slash underground mean to you personally?
So I think the influences on the of the underground on the record is maybe not the underground as we interact with it online, but it's
Mhm.
100% the underground scenes that I'm involved with in
Yeah,
Austin. And
yeah,
I mean, I've met so many great people in my city, whether or not they interact solely with the hardcore scene or the rave scene or the hip hop
mhm,
scene or an
mhm.
intersection of any of those three. But part of this record is about me being proud to be at an intersection of all three,
Yeah,
whether or
yeah,
not those influences are directly shown or not. So, I mean, shortly, I spoke about this earlier. Shortly after I released Real Brandishing, I was a DJ for a death metal slash grind band called Dormitibus,
mhm,
and etc. And I have mad love for like all my homies that are in Austin, doing hip hop out in the city too. So like shout out to Cardinal Blue because he's also from Austin. He was on Braille
mhm,
Brandishing. You
mhm,
know, shout out Free Hamzy, everybody else at Sahara Sounds, fucking yours truly, Chucky Black, No Important, who is
mhm.
a member of X Society, and Buka, who I met at a Quelle Chris show, and it turned out he did a song with June like 7 years ago.
Oh
So it's a
shit,
small fucking world we live in. I was
that's
like, yo,
crazy.
do you remember? Do you remember being on this? And I showed him the cover, and he was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, yeah, that's fucking wild, man. Right on. And like
Yeah, yeah,
even
yeah.
with you sliding up to Brooklyn, like not too long after me and you recording this, like that kind of scene as well, like knowing that there's that interconnectivity with like, you know, peers
Yes.
and compatriots of ours that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's dope, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I
you
had
and
to.
Jay Cinema got shit in the works, and like, shit, bro, I interviewed that dude last month. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
it's
saw that. Yeah, I was posting that in our we have an IND group chat. I was like, "Oh shit, JC did a interview with Stilo. I'm about to do that shit too."
type
But
shit, bro. And
I mean,
it's cool.
I had to show love to IND too, because that's like my main hip hop collective that I'm a part of, and we just did a sold out show in New York earlier this month to promote Genesis, which came out probably 2 weeks ago now at this point. So shout out that, you know, I got the homies June and Jay Cinema in support to do features for the record. June produced 97 Camry, and then I did some additional production on top of it. And then I had Reiki Apollo do background vocals for a track, and he did background vocals for Change Your Behavior, which features support. And then also Gian Adele is doing background vocals on that track too, and he filmed the Materialist Raps music video that we filmed in Canarsie. And he's also filmed a bunch of footage from the IND show that we did in Brooklyn. Me and him are still working on, you know, filtering through that and processing that. So I guess in that way, it is it's less of a love letter to the general underground versus more what's like directly around me. And that's really what I'm gonna have love for, because there's so much beautiful shit happening in the scene here in Austin, and then everybody that I have met in the general online underground. But I mean, overall, I'm just really happy to be a part of it, honestly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it really is a privilege to be within these spaces. You know what I mean? Like, it truly is. It's crazy, dude. Like, it's crazy. And that also kind of transitions into like production and features that I wanted to talk about as well, because this thing is mostly self-produced, if not like entirely with additional production from, you know, peers and contemporaries. The feature list is deep as fuck. We got like Shamar, Jay Cinema, Zodi, Melmage, Support, Melmage, sorry, High Girlfriend, June, JDMM, Granite Sky, Catherine Bogue. A lot of these cats who I'm familiar with, a couple who I'm not very familiar with. So I kind of want to know how that all came together. Was it all just kind of organic off the strength, or was it like, did you have certain people in mind that you wanted to get on this? Like, what was that process looking like?
This is gonna take a while to get into, because I have like my own separate histories with all these people. But honestly, the whole thing is kind of entirely based on like people I'd already either worked with or colleagues that were in my vicinity that I wanted to work with. So in terms of collaborations from Braille Brandishing, I was bringing back June and Granite Sky, because they both did some production on that album. And then I was bringing Jay Cinema and Haley support for some new collaborations as well. I worked with both of them before. I featured on Support's album The Beach, and then we also had some songs. Yes, oh my god, she's so talented, bro. I love Support, bro.
She's so fucking ill.
Like she's one of those talented writers out right now. Like I'm geeked to be like her colleague and shit like that.
100%.
We had some songs together on Genesis, and then I also have some songs with Jay on that record too. We also have some unreleased stuff I was able to get in while I was in New York, because we did a studio session at Pirate. And then as far as like the Shamar beat, because they produced the latter half of Forgotten in the Sea, I was kind of already familiar with their work as child actor, and then they had collaborated with Jay before. I also really adore their recent work, Emergency. It kind of made me like really reset and rewire a lot of my beliefs about music and human interactions.
Yes.
And they were posting beats for sale. I copped one. I thought that it would fit the style of the record well, and it did turn out very well. It was kind of it was replacing an older version of the latter half of that song. I was thinking of putting it in 2 parts, so it's just a longer song, but it comes together very well. As far as other the rest of the production, Zodi is a homie that I met through Gian Adele. He's a really sick ass producer, and the beats that he makes are like exactly in the style of what I wanted to go for. So he makes really LA beat scene influenced, off kilter stuff, kind of in the same vein as like Knowledge, Fly Low, Beatbox Bandit, stuff like that. So the beat for Rap Game David Foster Wallace was he'd already made that beat, and I just asked him if I could use it, and he was like, yeah. But the beat for Dada's Language and Art happened because I sent him a very specific sample that I wanted him to flip, and I knew that I couldn't flip it in the same way that he'd be able to flip it. And I think bro sent me that beat back in like 2 days. So yeah, he's like a sick ass fucking producer, and I got him. Yeah, I got him placements with my homie Wrath of Cain as well. He actually just announced his new record today, and that has some production from me and Zodi and some other cats on there as well.
Dope.
So JDMM and Catherine Bogue are real life colleagues of mine that I met in high school. JDMM, I'm gonna call him Jordan because that's literally like my best fucking friend. Like closest artist friend. Like me and him are like this, bruh. His verse on 97 Camry is actually his first rap verse ever.
Really?
Like he came over to my house. We were in this room and we recorded that song together.
He's crazy.
I wasn't
That's
looking.
His first rap verse?
That's
Damn.
his first rap verse ever. I wasn't looking for something like really serious from him. I mean, me and him like freestyle back and forth together all the time. We'll just pull up like Ka beats, Action Bronson beats, a whole bunch of different shit. And we'll just like freestyle back and forth. Like it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, I wasn't looking for something crazy serious from him because that song is more like pop rap oriented, but we wrote that song about his 1997 red Toyota Camry that we ride around in everywhere we go. So we have like a lot of fond memories with that car. And for Kat, this is actually not the first time that I worked with her. Actually, she's my coworker, which is funny as fuck.
Type shit.
People who are like more familiar with my older records know that I got her to do vocals for a track on Ibiza Dreams from 2022. I don't like that record at all. It's actually buns, low key. But in the same way that referencing the death of Rave is like a full circle moment because I got my start doing like caretaker fan projects when I was like 12 and 13. Collaborating with her again is like a very much a full circle moment as well. So shout out Jordan and shout out Kat. Y'all are my fucking goats, bro.
Type shit.
Lastly, the features from Melmige and High Girlfriend, those are new. I hadn't worked with either of them before. But I've gotten to know and be familiar with Melmige over the last few years because he does like weekly live streams. He does like Music Monday live streams. People can submit their music and he'll listen to it live and kind of give you critiques and commentary and stuff like that. Dope. So I've been able to send some stuff to him for those streams, stuff that's released, stuff that's not released yet, and get some good critiques from him. Him and I have like kind of talked a few times over the years, and often I found that his rapping style is actually like pretty similar to mine. He's very self-conscious, very self-aware. He's always looking to expand. I feel like that's the kind of thing that I get from him. So I wanted to get him on Bug Killers Baby, not only because I thought he would fit the song well, but one of the things that I like to do with features is get them out of their comfort zone as far as being a writer and then kind of bring them into my world. So a lot of that song is intentionally rapping about random shit. And the words that are used in the song are intentionally randomly used to be a representation of randomness. So it's sort of like a meta commentary on randomness. Like literally the first 5 bars, like why am I blanking on these fucking bars, bruh? Fucking microphone Pangasi lamp, generated portless version, artificial word salad, robotic mother virgin, goat modded battle rapper, cavalier smothered curtain, miraculized nonsense in lowercase. That is, I'm literally saying random shit about saying random shit. Bro, that's the point.
I'm not gonna lie, I was listening to that shit and I was like, bro, what the fuck is he waffling about? Like, what is going on here, man? And like,
but it's fire though. It's fire.
You're cutting sliding on that shit. You're cutting sliding, bro. And like, yeah. It's dope. It's really dope. You put something together really fucking cool here, man. Yeah.
But yeah, that song is random, only really in a way that's like familiar to me. So coming back on that thesis of language is a path to freedom, I wanted Mel to write something similar that's familiar to him, but also very random. So a lot of the times that experiment works with the artists that I collaborate with, and it's like really satisfying. It's like very, very gratifying. Yeah. And then for High Girlfriend, I started becoming familiar with her around the time that she dropped 2016 with Josiah. And Josiah and I have been good colleagues for a few years now too. It's a really fantastic record, and I think that she's such a talented writer. I wanted her, and I wanted her to get on a song about love. And she was really into that concept because it turns out that she loves writing love songs. So she came through with like a really, really beautiful feature. And when I write love songs, I never write it with like a specific person or thing attached, because I don't like getting attached to like a specific person in that way and then say something that I might regret. Yeah. So in many ways, I feel like Potentially is my own version of I Used to Love Her by Common, kind of like reflecting on how hip hop has affected the retrospection of my childhood memories, but also being a little bit aware of the intersections of race, being a white person in a primarily black art form. Because I think the last line I said was like, maybe we'll never be ivory and ebony, but there's a chance I could love you potentially. So I'm kind of like speaking about that in that sort of way. And I think that if you're a white person in hip hop and you're not being aware of that sort of thing, that your relationship to this art form, I think that you're doing something like really fucking wrong. You're low-key fucking up Crazy Style. You need to rethink what you're doing.
Crazy Style is really good. Type shit though. Yeah. Type shit. Bro, even as like a light-skinned nigga from the suburbs, like I gotta chill the fuck out sometimes, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
You're from Bowmanville?
Hey, listen, nah. I don't know about all that. I'm not.
So you were raised by savages?
So you're raised by savages. Still, yo, listen, bro. I'm not a Bowmanville youth, fam. That's one thing I can promise you, fam. Real Scarborough things, you get me? Like,
yo, bro, don't play with me. Born and raised Southside Richmond Hill.
It is the most surreal shit hearing you talk about that, because I thought this was a very like local kind of joke, you know what I mean? Like only really but like, bro, hearing you refer to Bowmanville like fucked me up, bro. Like real.
Bro, I'm tapped in, bro.
I'm saying, bro,
I'm tapped in.
Hearing you and my guy Yer in the Oxcord interact is the most surreal shit to me, bro. It is so funny. It's so funny.
I'll just straight up be like, bro, don't make me go get the machine, bro.
I'm gonna get the machine, fam. Like, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, you're sick on my stomach, fam.
You're sick. If the business is true that you left your moms in the hood, somebody go smoke that you. You don't leave your moms nowhere. But if it's not true, Shardy's just talking shit.
Shardy's just talking shit, bro. Incredible stuff, quite frankly. Oh my god, dude. Yo, I think we pretty much touched on everything I wanted to touch on, all things considered. Yeah.
Deadass.
Yeah. You kind of answered a lot of the other questions that I had, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, word, yeah. Word.
I guess on some philosophical shit, with 8 albums behind you, more than that, all things considered, how do you feel you've evolved as an artist?
The only thing that I can really say with confidence is that I'm definitely not done evolving, but I also think that I'm moving in the right direction, probably. I feel like there's a big stigma around artists that use hip-hop as a sort of jump off into something different.
Agreed.
But I think it's something that I've comfortably nestled into as my primary art form, while still confidently feeling like I have the freedom to grow without being culturally judged, especially because I have such a connection to hardcore music. I feel like anyone who is tuned enough into history knows that, you know, hip hop and punk started evolving around the same time. And they have 100%. very similar political mindsets and beliefs and stuff like that. So, and I feel like I can say in earnest, because of my pursuit of knowledge in hip hop, that I don't think I'm really ever gonna take the genre for granted. I mean, like this is kind of my foundation at this point.
Yeah, 100%. So, can I pull up the Departure Chud Jack now, because it really makes me laugh?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't want to work. I need more knowledge.
I don't want work. I need more knowledge. I made this too. You know what's so funny? I'm wearing a Anticon. I don't have that shirt, the Anticon shirt that I'm wearing, but Wither, who is like a homie of mine,
shout out Wither,
actually got that shirt. Like they have that shirt.
That's fucking
and I was like, wait.
Actually.
I was like, wait a minute. And then I pulled up the Chud Jack, and I was like, bro, you're literally wearing that shirt. Like it's the exact same shirt.
Yeah.
It has that picture on it. It's like fucking hilarious, bro.
It's really good. This is just a really good image, dude. And fucking
Yeah,
the portrait of Wiki in the back too, like really fucking gets me.
No. Okay. Do you see this picture? Wait, hold on. That picture right there, that is from the Half God vinyl that I own. That's why I think if I flip it over,
yeah,
it's that picture of Wiki in navy blue
incredible.
on the wall. But I like to have the graffiti, the drawing version up there.
Oh, it's good shit, man.
Yeah, that's why I put that there. And then there's like David Foster Wallace, and the older guy is John Taggart, and then you have IND, Backwoods, Old Dominion, Def Jux, Anticon, Hellfire Club, and then I think I have Communism for Dummies in a pile of books on the floor.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I just pulled that up.
It's a really good fucking image, bro. It's a really good image.
Like, bruh.
Yeah.
Bro, that's me, bro.
That's the shit that you're on, bro. That's the shit that you're on, bro. I guess some more philosophical questions that I like asking is, what does this album say about where you are in life right now?
I think it says that I'm open and I'm looking to become more intellectualist or thoughtful in my writing styles and my worldviews than I already am. I mean, because obviously I don't really know everything, and honestly, nobody really does. No, but I know already that there is so much more room to grow as far as being philosophically or ideologically inclined. I don't know in what direction I should really go yet, but I think over time I will move into the right one. And I think being in college has given me more of the freedom to become educated. And even though I've only finished one semester in my first year of college, I can already feel I'm kind of moving in the right direction on that, because my English class had me, write all these essays and stuff, and I was posting them on my Substack, and I've actually felt very proud of those essays too. So I definitely want to keep writing. Writing more and more. I'm getting more confident about long form writing.
And it's dope, bro. It's dope. Do you think making this project changes the way how you think about art, success, and or purpose?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that for all the theses that are setting the influences on are the purposes on the record, though the one thing that I don't think I would ever do is really redirect my purpose as an artist to be for the benefit of somebody else. Beyond ensuring that my work impresses or inspires or saves people. And I think that any reasonable artist would state that as a goal. But first and foremost, I make art for myself and not for anybody else. It is for my enjoyment, and there's no one person is obligated to enjoy that with me. But I do endlessly appreciate those who do. And I also think that ending at Work of Artist I Love You was kind of a natural consequence to my obsession with color field painting and the abstract expressionist movement, which kind of bled through into the Colorfield mixtape, and then me eventually naming my label Colorfield Recordings. But now we're kind of at the point where instead of just letting that art be the aesthetics for other art or my art is now the public square for discussing and meta-commentating on that art and things that are influenced by that art.
Yeah, type shit, bro. Type shit.
Yeah.
Shit, bro. Yeah. I guess. Sorry, I'm really fucking tired today as well. In case you.
No, I get you, bro.
I'm fighting for my fucking life, bro. This holiday season got me fucking tweaking, bro. Biggest thing is, what do you hope your listeners of this album take away from it?
My number one takeaway is that I just want the listener to understand that it's entirely representative of who I am as a person and as an artist. I think I'm yet to become fully naked in my art, but this is definitely the most vulnerable I've ever been in a piece of work, even as I was undressing and dissecting my past on VVS and doing the same thing for my anger on Braille brandishing.
Type shit. Sorry, you said naked. That caught me way off guard. I was like, bro, this freaky ass dude
okay.
I know what you mean. I know it. I'm just being ignorant and stupid. Yeah. Yeah. In case you couldn't
Shut
tell.
up, bitch, up.
In case you couldn't tell, I'm an ignorant motherfucker who just fucking, I'm just out here, bro. Yeah. Don't get naked on your music, bro. At least keep the briefs on, bro.
No.
At least keep the briefs on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo. Yeah. I'd say, yeah, we touched on everything that I wanted to touch on pretty much, man. Good shit.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to leave the listeners with? Any last closing statements?
I will say, if you're looking for like a specific way to enjoy this record, just enjoy it however you want to enjoy it. I mean, I know I'm more of an unconventional listener because I listen to a lot of shit that I haven't heard before year by year. So I can't really ever tell a listener that they're listening to music in a right or wrong way as far as how an album should be experienced, unless, of course, the artist states directly, you need to listen to it this way. But in this case, I didn't really outline any specific way to experience the record because art influences us all differently, whether that influence is positive, neutral, or negative. And I'm positive that these billion intersections of experiences and thought that caused me to make the record would be different for somebody else. And nobody's ever going to 100% get this record like I do, not just because I'm the artist, but the billion intersections of life experiences are different for every human, such as like a star kind of collapsing into a supernova. So, but I hope that people really enjoy the record. I put a lot of thought and time and
care,
blood,
love,
sweat, and tears, yada yada.
all of that.
I will say I don't have any current plans for a next full-length project, but I am working on more material for Aborted Defecated Whale. And I'm also doing a lot of invested work as an engineer and collaborator for other artists. So I think that right now, this new album is a good bookend to my self-discovery. New solo material is probably eventually going to come. I don't know what. But I do want to work more in community with other people for a while, kind of beyond my own work. So I feel like that's...
bro. Type shit. With that said, Work of Artists, I Love You is out on January 1st, everywhere you can listen to music. Go and listen to that shit. Shout out to my man's Departure. Thank you for sitting down with me, bro. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, bro.
This was a very long overdue talk, and I just have the Untitled pull up. It's a dope fucking album. Y'all are going to hear it. I don't fucking know when this interview is going to go up, but January 1st, New Year's 2026. Tap the fuck in, man. Listen to this record.
Yes, sir.
It's fucking ill as fuck. Yeah. And as per tradition with my interviews, if you had to pick one song to close this episode with from the album, what song are you picking?
Oh, from the album?
Yeah.
Play Dada's Language and Art.
So fucking real, actually. So fucking real. This has been the Aux Podcast. Thank you all for listening. Departure, thank you for joining me. All the links in the description.
You're
Tap
welcome.
in with the homie. You're welcome is crazy. I mean, I just said thank you, actually. That's crazy from me. Bro,
Motherfucker.
I am not well today. I am not
Motherfucker.
well. Yeah. More than Mama Huevo. Dime glu glu.
Mama Huevo. Ven a mi plan.
We are deeply unserious. I'm
making motherfucker.
This has been the Aux Podcast. Thank you all for listening. Let me close this shit out. Yeah.
Peace, priest.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I said, no, I can't give you reason. No, you're acting too unreasonable. No, I can't give you a reason. No, a reason. Fishing at the bottom of the ocean for a song. Cause there's a presence I've been longer for a second. Rattle bobbing like a weapon. No metaphors or conjunctions. Just tell me.